All right. Welcome back, everybody. Today is January 14th, 2026. Oh, man. It's getting hard I have to get used to 26.
I know, right?
Um, I am Alan. Today with me, as always, is Matt. We are from OptionGenius, where we trade options and we teach people how to sell options. And full disclosure, trading is risky. You can lose money. You probably will lose money. We all lose money from time to time. The idea is to make more than you lose, hopefully. It doesn't happen all the time, though, but that's what makes it interesting and fun. Um, so, yeah, everything we say is for education and entertainment purposes only. See, I'm even doing a little dance. Yeah. Okay.
Very entertaining.
Very, yeah. Everybody's like, click, change the channel. What the hell is this? Oh man. So what's going on with today? The markets. Markets are down. SPX down 0.85. The Rut's actually up now. It was down, I think, earlier. Nasdaq's down 1.5. Dow's down 0.3. Um, I guess it's making a little bit of a comeback. Bitcoin's in a bit of a run. It's at 97? Really?
97, yep.
Oh,
The last few days.
97. Wow, it's coming back up again. All right. And the VIX is at 17.3, up almost 9% today. So yeah, VIX is crawling up. Lots of headlines out of Washington, which is right now, I think that's the major, that's where right now everything is coming from.
It's
All the
like
headlines.
whiplash. I mean, looking at all the headlines, right? I mean, you got Greenland and
Mhm.
Iran, and it's just wow. Yeah.
Yep. And everybody's afraid of what's going to happen at the Fed. Um, so there's that going on. The Supreme Court is going to hear the case against the other Fed person, Lisa something, to see if Donald Trump can fire her for cause. And if the Supreme Court says yes, then Powell's in more trouble. He might lose his job as the chair. Um, but I don't know Powell, like he seems very calm and very relaxed. And I don't know if he's gonna, so far he hasn't like fought back, right? He hasn't done anything.
No.
Um, I don't know if he's going to, but people are saying that if he wanted to, he could step, when his term is up as chair, he could step down from the Fed completely, or he could take his position as one of the board members. And that would be hurtful for Trump because he would be one of the votes that would always vote against what Trump was doing just to piss him
Yeah, I
off.
mean, it's really the ball is in Jerome's court in a way, you
If
know.
he can stay.
If you
If
can
he can,
stay, of course. But it's really interesting. I mean, it's
yeah.
May is when his term is up. I mean, it's not that far away.
But now you have now you have the Republican senator speaking up on behalf of Powell. You have other central banks from around the world speaking up, and you have the bankers themselves, JP Morgan and the others speaking up on behalf of Powell. So I mean everybody's obviously against Trump on this one, but I don't think that matters to him at all. So
No, I agree with that. I don't think it does matter to him.
yeah,
But they say the Fed is independent, which it really isn't, in my
it's
view.
supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
That's the way it should be, I think, in my opinion. But so this morning I had the realization. I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, Trump. I think Trump really, really, honestly, in his brain, in his heart, believes that he lost that election by fraud. Like, I don't think he thought about it and said, I'm just going to make up this fraud claim. I think he really believes that it was fraud because that was the only way he could have not gotten what he wants. He is so used to getting what he wants that there's no way that it's not going to happen. Like he has that much confidence in himself. Like it's, I think that's what it is.
Well, I mean, he speaks that way in everything that he does. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is the greatest, this is the best. I was listening to him yesterday, I believe, and in one statement, he's like, "Yeah, this is the best," but it's probably not a good thing. He says like all the things in one sentence, whether it's going to be like the best, it's probably better, it's probably good. It's like people are kind of like, what did he just say? And then he goes on to something else, So
Yep.
it's,
Yeah.
but
So, I mean, it definitely, we haven't had anybody like this in the White House for a while. And not that in my 50 years, not that I remember when I was younger, but you kind of knew what you were getting with the president. This one is like, no, it's like all over.
no,
And this year, I think is going to be full of this. Like everybody's like facing whiplash because there's so much stuff going on, right? Where we invaded Venezuela. We're talking about Greenland in a couple of weeks. We're talking about Iran. Something is going to be done about Iran very soon. Like help is coming. That's what he said. Help is on the way to the protesters. Um, and so, like, okay, this is
I
the
mean,
guy that,
he does enough where he keeps he has people believe that he will. I mean, he did go into Venezuela. Now he's meeting with Greenland, which uh seems so far-fetched, right? Months ago that he would go and possibly try to acquire Greenland. It's like we really don't know, I mean,
but he is telegraphing. He is saying it. Like he said it
he
from day one.
is.
Like we're
Yeah.
gonna take Greenland. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever. No, like, no, really. I just don't have time for it right now.
I mean,
I
the
gotta,
people
I
that
gotta,
doubted him before, I don't doubt him at
yep.
this moment.
I gotta launch all this ice stuff. I gotta, what else has he done? He's done a lot. It's just, I mean, he's making a $300 billion, 300 billion ballroom. Is that? I don't, wow.
And he's worried
Um,
about, Jerome Powell's expansion of the Fed building.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then and this is what the guy does, right? He's a real estate developer. He builds buildings and he puts his name on it. So we're going to have a Trump ballroom. That's what it's going to be called. The Trump ballroom. Or the Trump East Wing, whatever it is, it's going to have the name Trump on it. Kind of like the Kennedy Center, the Trump and Kennedy Center now.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing.
But so, uh, in terms of the markets, I don't think um I think the volatility is going to continue to rise. I think um we're going to see fluctuations. So we're not going to see like a straight up market like we had last year. We are going to see issues happen, and right now, um the way the market's looking so far this year, I think the SPX is actually outperforming the Nasdaq. And so a lot of people, most of us retail people, retail investors, we're all in mostly tech stocks, right?
Mhm.
Because that's been working, the AI trade and all that. I think that's going to take a pause this year. And I think SPX and the S&P 500 and the Dow is going to outperform Nasdaq. Um,
I agree with that.
so
I think for the year, it'll continue to go up, the SPX, but we'll have, drawbacks along the way, I think, right? With the
yeah,
volatility and, um, it can be just from a couple of tweets. I mean, depending on what's going on in the world.
yeah,
Um,
it's gonna be interesting. I don't think anybody can predict what's going on. Like today we had numbers come out, regarding inflation related, and inflation is not going down like it was supposed to. And so if that continues, then can the Fed lower rates even if they want to? No, they shouldn't, because the inflation target hasn't been hit yet. And inflation basically is not that prices went up, right? Prices have already gone up. They're not coming down.
mhm.
And that's the problem. And so, yeah, Trump is going all out on affordability, right? But that, I don't know. I don't think he can force that. And it's like, he's saying that all the banks should not charge more than 10% interest on credit cards for 1 year. Now, that happened to be a Democratic proposal where they wanted 10% on interest rates for credit cards for 3 years. He adopted it as his own. But now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that's not capitalism. It's like, what happened to capitalism? It's like capitalism is great when it suits us, and then when we don't like it, then we butt in, you know?
Mhm.
So bailouts, um, you know, tax refunds, tax cuts, tax rebates, whatever, and just I don't know. Anyway,
No, it is all it is stuff that we have not seen um, in a while, right? So I think it's leaving a lot of people confused about where we're headed. Um, we're in that moment for sure.
So now, so that's kind of what's going on right now. The market is still up so far this year, and we're only 14 days in, right? So, um, and the way it works is, well, I don't know how often, but this is one of the things that the the trend followers or the seasonalist people they look at. It's like how the first week goes, so goes January, and as January goes, so goes the year. In January, the first week was up. And so if January, the month is up, then we'll have a positive month for the or a positive year, but we don't know what's going to happen in the middle. Like, what's the
Right.
true?
Mhm.
Is that going to be smooth or is it going to be like a roller coaster? So we don't know that, and we'll see what happens. But there is, so that's what's happening with the markets. Today, I wanted to focus on another topic. The title of this show today is called "The Silver Panic is Coming," um, and there's a lot of stuff happening under the surface that is not being talked about. Um, and so, if you'll remember, in our last SmackDown, in the December SmackDown, the winning stock was AGQ,
Yes, sir.
which is a three times leveraged silver ETF. Now, do you remember what the return was for that? In
Ooh,
the,
it
I think it
got
was,
as high as like 66%, but I think it ended up like 30 or 30 to 40, somewhere in there.
yes, it was like 60, it
Yeah,
was like 60, 70, 30, 40, whatever. It was
mhm,
really high.
for sure.
Um, and silver itself had an amazing run into the end of the year. It was up over 140% last year.
Mhm.
And so the CBOE and the CME, the CME, I think, believe is the one that controls the futures. Let me see here for a second.
Yeah, that's right.
The CME, right? The CME group controls all the futures. Um, so they increased the margin requirements on the futures contracts. So it used to be about 20, they doubled it to about 40. Then they had to increase it again towards the end of the year. Yesterday, they increased it again. And so now it's not a dollar amount. Like before, it was 20, per contract. Then it went to like about 40, and then it was higher. Right now, it's tied to the price. So the higher the price goes, the higher the margin goes.
Oof.
And that's a new thing that they just rolled out.
That's
Um,
frankly, it's kind of scary in a way.
yeah, so it's
Unsettling, right? I mean, that could be unlimited, right? Who knows what it could
the
do?
margin could continue higher. Now people are asking like why? Why is this happening? Because in palladium or platinum, sorry, platinum margins have not gone up. They're still at 20 where they were. Gold has gone up, but it's only gone from 20 to 30.
Mhm.
Actually, let me check. Actually, it's gone to 40. Sorry. It was at 20 or something, and then it's gone to 40. But and I think they have also tied that into the price of gold, but gold prices are not going up as much as fast as silver. Silver right now, silver markets have closed, but it's still trading. So right now it's up 7.4% today, just today. So if you looked at the AGQ, right? I looked at it earlier this morning. AGQ today
I'll
is
look at it
up
right now.
14%, right?
Wow.
Because it's, and so that's not exactly three times silver, but it is definitely very crazy.
I,
Um,
I mean, look at that chart. It's
yeah, if you
crazy.
look at the chart, yeah, it's unbelievable. So there is something going on underneath silver. And normally there are people on both sides. There are buyers, and then there are people who are bearish. right? And like whenever you see a move like this, like if you look at the silver chart, it looked parabolic. It looked like it just went crazy and then it dropped. Um, and then it kind of backed and filled, and now it's kind of stabilizing. And today, yesterday, and today, it's hit new highs again. And so there's still people that are trying to short this, but they're getting run over. They're getting killed. And so you have there was news this morning that there are, in places in like Dubai where they sell bullion. You can buy silver bullion, like silver coins and silver bars and whatever. They're selling it at a minimum of $120 an ounce,
Oh,
whereas the spot market is showing it as almost at $93 an ounce right now. So there's definitely a
premium.
premium that is being
Yeah.
applied. Um, there's also a report that came out today that it says that in 2 months, on in March 27th, the futures contracts for silver expire, and the CME has allowed 1.7 times more silver contracts to trade than the silver they actually have in storage.
Ooh.
So the people who are trading them, or people who are, like somebody has to sell the silver in order for somebody else to buy the silver, right? And so the person who's selling the silver is a silver miner or a silver, middleman or something like that. And normally they like to keep that in storage so it can move. The silver's not there. So in 2 months, where is half of the silver coming from? Almost half, right?
Right.
And so coin dealers themselves in this country, they're not selling silver anymore. Like you want to go buy silver coins, they're not selling them because they know the price is going to go up. It's like,
Sure.
oh, how am I going to sell this if it's going to double or go much
You mean
higher?
we're not going to see those late info commercials for selling?
Not for silver. Gold, yes. Gold, yes. Not silver. So gold and platinum and palladium, this is not happening as much. They're going higher for
Hmm.
similar reasons, but silver is, it's used in different electronics, is used in the computers, AI, manufacturing, all that. But I do think that because there is a massive shortage of silver, that this is happening, and it's underneath, and nobody's talking about it at this point. And so as we get closer to this March 27th deadline, the expiration day for these futures, will there be a whole bunch of them where people do not want delivery? Yes. They'll just roll their futures over to the next month for traders. But as the price goes higher, the margins will go higher. That will get rid of a lot of smaller players.
Yeah, that'll
That
shake
will
them out.
that'll shake out almost everybody in retail, like any retail investor like us, the mom and pops. The margin is just crazy. I mean, right now it's like 78,000 for one contract. 78,000 as of right now. And so if that keeps going higher, you know, uh, you're going to have an account with millions of dollars just to trade any of these.
Right. So that'll normalize it in a way.
So that will keep people from, you know, and then you only have, but that's a bad thing because then the people who want delivery are the only ones going to be left. You don't have the traders in there anymore.
Right.
So then you have more people on a percentage basis that are saying, hey, I want my silver. But there's no silver to be had. And China has put a restriction. There is no silver being exported from China. Canada has a bunch of silver, but they got pissed off by the US. So will they sell? We don't know. Um, and so there are, silver has become, and as these ETFs have become more popular, there's a lot more ETFs out there that trade in the futures. So you're trading an ETF, a silver ETF, that has nothing behind it. You think it has a futures contract behind it that has silver behind it, but it doesn't because the silver's not there. And so if we go skyrocketing in price, I don't know how they'll be able to keep going. So hopefully the ETFs and the futures contracts will still be able to roll forward, But with the margin increasing as fast as it has, these ETFs are going to have a lot of trouble as well,
Wow.
keeping up
So
to date.
really interesting to watch.
So then you also have a few ETFs that actually have silver on hand. So there's a company called Sprott, Sprott.
Mhm.
Every ETF that they have, they own some percentage of the metal in their vault themselves. So if anybody was to say, "Hey, I want to go invest in silver," the idea is to invest in something that actually owns the silver, right?
Yeah, you
So,
hope so.
like an AGQ, probably not the best place to invest, right? Because it's leveraged and it's tied to the futures price. There's nothing physically behind it. So if this stuff does go crazy, if a panic does ensue, then all bets are off. How are you going to get paid? If you're going to
Mm.
get paid, does the ETF go under? Do they shut it down? Does the company that's behind the ETF go under? I don't know. Um, like AGQ is owned by ProShares, which is pretty big, I believe. And so they should be okay, but still, we don't know. Um, and we're talking about millions and millions of ounces of silver changing hands. The other thing is that in terms of an all-time high, silver made an all-time high a few years ago in the 50s when people were trying to corner the market, the Hunt brothers and whatnot. If you take that into consideration with inflation, the silver price, all-time high silver price is about $150 an ounce. So we're at what, 92, I said? So we haven't hit the all-time high yet. So there's still room to run. There's still room to go. So is this the thing that something we invest in? I think we should, but I think it's very important how, to be careful how you invest it. So there is a ETF called SLVR that
Mhm.
is one of the Sprott ones. They have gold and silver in reserve, not 100%, but they do have some. And then another one is CEF. So those are the two that I found. Sprott has other ones, PHYS. They have one called COPP, but those are not tracking silver as much. Even the CEF one, I believe it's a mix between gold and silver. So that ETF is up like 3% today, whereas silver was up earlier like 6%. So it doesn't track exactly the move, but it actually has some backing of silver and gold. So it's a mix. Um, why is this happening? Because of all the things we talked about. But I think it's because the central banks are buying. I believe silver is because it's being used and there's a shortage. And according to oh man, I had the news report up. I forgot where it went. Um, because of the shortage, we are not we're going to have a shortage all the way to the end of 2026 and maybe into 2027 according to um oh man, I had it. Where'd it go?
Do you think that there is, so in my mind, we have the big run up in gold. There's
Mm-hmm.
tends to be when you have a run up in gold, people will go to the next thing, right? Or the closest thing.
Right. So that was
So just
also
like
part
in
of it.
just in stocks, like you have a certain like a Nvidia, then they'll go to something else that's close in the
Yeah,
same sector. It's the same kind of mentality about, why we're seeing that, I think,
right.
to some
And
degree.
you also have what they call the gold to silver ratio,
Hmm.
where if the price of gold is here, silver should be here. And then they track that over time to see if silver goes up, the ratio gets smaller, silver goes down, or gold goes up, the ratio gets bigger. So it should be kind of this, they have a kind
Lockstep.
of, yeah, it
Yeah.
should be kind of a lockstep, but it hasn't. Gold has really taken off last year. And now silver is like shooting up with a bullet.
It's like
And
it lagged it, but now it's trying to catch up in a way.
It's yeah, it's trying to catch up. It's trying to pass it. So, uh, it's very interesting, but it does seem like there is going to be a panic if the prices keep going up higher and higher. We had COVID and supply shortages, and be like, oh, sorry, we don't have this because they're not making it in China. Well, if silver goes up too much, stuff is gonna get more expensive to make, and
Hmm.
that's also gonna lead to more inflation. And that's not something we can tariff our way out of or do anything, or even lower rates to fix it because there's just not enough there.
Right. Very,
And,
very interesting.
and
I try to think, do you remember a time where you had silver and gold going up like it is now?
um, a few years ago, gold had gone up. I didn't really pay attention to silver much, but I remember gold was going up, and I have a couple of friends that own gold jewelry stores. Like they own
Mhm.
jewelry, they sell jewelry. And they were saying at that time that, hey, you know what? I'm really struggling right now. Nobody's buying gold because it's gone up so much in price. It's so expensive now, nobody wants to buy gold.
Right. So then
Like in
they're hoarding
jewelry.
it. Yeah. Right.
They don't want to. They don't want it as jewelry. Now they're making money by buying gold from people, and if you remember, those shops popped up everywhere. We buy gold. We buy gold. Like people just set up a shop and say we buy gold. At that point, and eventually those went away. But we're probably going to see something similar
Until you
to
can
that
sell
now.
it, until you're able to sell it. Right.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, like, if you start seeing people like grandmas be like, "Oh, should I sell my silver spoons?" and stuff like that. When you have people doing that, then it's like, we gotta be
Yeah, and it's
careful.
starting to get little hints of that. I mean,
Yeah. When
that's
the average person starts talking about it, that's when you know that, okay, this is crazy. So the panic is here. It's coming. There's a shortage, definitely. Um, And so we will probably continue to see higher prices. I think it might be the best. It's already up. Silver's up 24% in the first 14 days of the year.
yeah. Well, I
Uh,
think
and that's
naturally,
not counting today. We got
yeah,
another.
I think naturally people are trying to put their money in something that will retain value, right? That will hold its value. So you get a big degree to this
But this
happening.
is not, I don't think this is what they wanted. I don't want
No,
that.
it is it's it's a sign of the times we're in, right? I think you're going to go to the best money that will hold its value. So we have the dollar. It's been continuing to be debased. So people are going to go into things that will hold their value, just as central banks will. I mean, they're gonna hold it.
Yep. Yep. I'm trying to see what other news there was on it. I had one more story that had some interesting information, but I forgot. I
You got to sift through all the 100 stories that are happening.
I got rid of it. I think pressed it. I pressed the wrong button and it went away. But yeah, so what would you invest in? I would definitely want to be in the miners themselves. A lot of them are Canadian. So look for Canadian companies that are silver miners, gold miners, silver miners, copper miners, and they're going to be able to basically their costs are going to be the same, but their margins are going up every day with the silver price going higher and higher. And so for them, it's a great time to be in business because they're going to make money hands over fist. And so if I was looking to invest in this, I would probably my best bet would be to go into the miners and invest there. I think it's going to be really hard for them to lose money or not to make
For
money,
how long would you?
as long as silver prices keep going higher.
Yeah.
There's definitely a shortage, right? In terms, if you look at the manufacturing, the how much amount of silver goes into manufacturing, there's not enough to continue to manufacture at the same pace.
But we need
Now,
it.
but we need it. And you have these companies, oh, we need NVIDIA chips and we need data centers and we need RAM. And what do you think all that is? Silver goes into all of that. So if there's no silver, there's no data center, there's no NVIDIA chip, there's no RAM, and there's no AI boom. There's no AI growth. So will these companies pay more for it? Yes. Will they bid up
Hmm.
the price? Probably, because they're in a race and they think the AI companies think that whoever wins is going to get the whole pie. They don't think it's going to be split up. They think that whichever AI becomes the best and everybody adopts it, kind of like VHS and beta, if you know remember that, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was a race to see which people choose. VHS actually won, even though beta was supposed to be better, and then beta just went out of business and VHS took over. That's what these AI companies are hoping for. That, hey, if my AI is the one, the fastest, the best, and we get there and we build it up better than the other people, everybody will switch to me and the other guys will go out of business. And then I'll be the king of the hill in AI for the next 50 years
Yeah, it's always a race, but it feels amplified um, in this.
because there's a lot more at stake.
Oh, a lot more.
There's
Yep.
a lot more at stake. How do we do business? How do we trade? How do we, all kinds of things. How the world works.
Right. What country controls it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, there was
Um,
a press conference yesterday where, of course, Trump and Besant was claiming that we are ahead in the race of AI, right? So they're like, who knows, right? Who knows?
you don't know.
There's definitely the race.
They might be ahead in the AI race, but it looks like we're definitely behind in the robot race.
For sure. And I
China.
did, when you mentioned that whole 60 Minutes,
Hmm.
I actually did go back and watch that. That was really eye-opening with Boston Scientific and what they're doing.
Yeah. So, we have Boston Scientific, we have Tesla, which is trying to get into the robots. But China already has them. They're already ahead in that race. And they're already ahead in the energy race. So those are the two things that are really scary in that sense. Um,
Well, I mean, they're ahead in the manufacturing.
yeah.
They've been manufacturing, they have the infrastructure for years,
Hmm. Yeah.
so,
And that's why they're not selling any of their silver. There's no exportation of silver. It's staying in the country. Um, and another thing about China, the NVIDIA H200 chip was approved by Trump to be sold to China recently, like
mhm.
yesterday or something.
I remember that. Yeah, I think a couple of weeks
A
ago.
couple of weeks ago, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
And China decided that, yeah, no, we don't want it. And the chip is not allowed to come into the country. You're not allowed to import the chip into the country.
Nice.
So it was like this big mess over here, like, oh, will Trump allow it? And will NVIDIA make more money by selling in China? And China's like, yeah, no, no thanks. We don't want it. Keep your little chip.
Interesting times.
Ay, ay, ay.
Sure.
Ay, 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 ay. Oh my God. All right. So, yes, panic in silver is coming. We're seeing it. We're witnessing it. This is something, I do think this is like the stuff that happens in the markets and in the world and the economy and whatever. The silver thing, I think, is very, very interesting. I think it's definitely something people need to be aware of, take part in. Um, Stuff like this doesn't happen all the time. We could go years without, something really booming. And I think this metal boom, I think, needs to be jumped on by everybody.
Hmm.
And the best way, in my opinion, is to buy the stocks of the gold miners. If you want to be risky, you can buy like the leverage ETFs of the actual commodity, and hopefully, the system itself doesn't go haywire. If it does go haywire, you might lose whatever money you put into it, but you know, hopefully not. So I think that's a little bit more of a risk at this point, just because of the way it's ramping up so hard, so fast.
Hmm.
I have not seen it like this in a sense
I mean,
where,
look, it's 15% today and some of those things. I mean, what we
yeah,
just, that's
right.
crazy.
But the fact that there is no silver to be had,
Right.
right? That's the scary part. This is not like stocks where they could just print more or money they can print more. This is actually a physical commodity. And yeah. you know.
It's it makes me laugh because there's a finite amount, right, to some degree, right, like in gold or silver. So I saw this. I wish I kept it, but I made a note of it that I think it was the somewhere in Saudi Arabia, they found all this gold all of a sudden. It's like, oh, we just found it. Like all of a sudden, we found all these gold reserves. It was like, it's very interesting to me. All of a sudden now, right? So when the price is up and moving, that's all of a sudden, people find it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll keep you guys updated. But for now, yeah, it's up and to the right.
up and to the right, like most things.
Mm-hmm. Like today, gold is up almost 1%, silver is up almost 7, and platinum, my third choice, is 2.6. Um, you could go copper, but I like platinum more than copper for some reason. I just don't like the way copper looks. It's nothing more than that.
Copper's been up quite a bit too, isn't it?
Copper's doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
So,
copper,
yeah.
everything's up.
You
So
have
it's
you have companies like Newport Mining, they're hitting all-time highs. Freeport McMoran doing really, really well. Southern Copper, a lot of them, a lot of the companies, Royal Gold doing really, really well. And they all say the same things. We can't get it out of the ground fast enough, So good time to be a miner.
the minor. Okay.
All right. Okay. So this month we are starting over the SmackDown. And you got the list ready?
I do.
Okay. Let me let you share. Oops, I don't want to share. I'll let you share. There you go. All right, so you can share.
All right. 1 second.
And I don't know why. A couple people reported that they had problems with YouTube putting the comments.
Yeah, I've heard.
Um,
Um,
so I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that. We'll see. Maybe we can add them like a little bit late. Maybe we can give them another day or two to see if we can fix that. Or if you guys have a symbol that you want that you couldn't post for whatever reason, you know, email it to us by tomorrow, and we'll get it up there. All right.
all right, here we go.
So Brandon Carter's coming up with A-Lab. What is A-Lab?
And what I love about these is sometimes you look at these tickers and you're like, what is that? I've never heard of that.
Astera Labs. Okay, looking at it's going pretty steady sideways. Um, so unless they get bought out or they're in the middle of, working on some new drug, I don't know. Okay. Then we have Lori's with Nvidia, Ken's with O'Reilly Auto Parts. All righty. Let's see how's that doing. Oh, that's not doing that well though. Hit a high of 108 back in September. Right now trading at 94, 94.80, 94.62 right now. Um, we'll see. We'll see how that does. Okay.
That
Um,
split way back. Split back in June, 15-1.
yes. Yes,
Wow.
15-1 split. Yeah. Okay. Then we have PPLT. What is that? Aberdeen Physical Platinum. Oh, okay, platinum.
It's gone from silver to platinum.
Okay, let me see here. Uh, this is a physical platinum shares ETF, managed by Aberdeen Sponsor LLC. Invests in platinum bullion. Okay, and it's US based. So that one, I mean, the chart on that one looks crazy. Um, but okay. So that's platinum. We got HL. Is that Halliburton? No,
HL,
that's Hecla Mining.
Hecla Mining.
Hecla Mining. Okay, so that one is down today for some reason, but chart looks good. That one has a shot. ABAT for Connor. American Battery. Okay, so this is a $5 stock. This is another, hey, let's roll a dice on this one. Maybe it takes a maybe it's a double or maybe it's a nothing. All right. Then we got Google.
You got a shot.
We got Costco. Costco's been on a tear after they had their little report come out. Not earnings, but they had their sales reports come out and they did really well.
Yeah.
Then we got
Well,
Monster or Micro, what is it? Strategy,
strategy. Yeah.
right? And then we have Coin right under that. So those both of those will be similar. First Solar. Let's see here. FSLR. That one, okay, it's coming off the high that it hit last month. Not bad. Palantir NUE. Believe that is also Nucor.
Energy.
So yeah, 52-week high today, 173 something. That one looks good. Let me see what their manufacturer of steel and steel products. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how steel is doing as a commodity, but with inflation, it's probably higher. All
Yeah.
right. XOM, which is at a all-time high today. Exxon, all-time high with oil going higher thanks to the stuff happening in Iran. AMD has been surging because of the lack in RAM. Actually, no. AMD's and Intel. No, AMD and Intel have not gone up. That was Micron. So my bad. Micron was the one that shot up. I believe Lori had picked Micron last
Yeah,
time.
Micron has been something.
Yeah. So Lori missed that one by a few days, and now she's in NVIDIA. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Micron
Um,
351 for a high on that one.
AMD not doing much right now. Amgen. Uh, looking good. Okay, maybe. And then we got CVX, which is Chevron. And that one is a 52-week high today as well, 169. So oil companies are doing really well. That's another patch. XLE is at a 52-week high today. That is another place to look for trades. But I don't know. This is all based on Iran, right? Uh, Trump posted today that he has canceled all meetings with Iranian officials.
And help is on the way.
Help is on the way. Yes. So a lot of upgrades. Jeffries adjusted Chevron price target to 189 from 174. Piper Sandler adjusted the price to 177 from 174. Um, so we'll see. And then there's also a bill coming out to vote this next week that is aims, if it passes, it will bar and ban all Congress people from making money and trading stocks,
Oh my goodness.
them and their relatives.
Nancy Pelosi got out just in time.
You got out just in time. Now, the new thing to make a lot of money is the prediction markets. And I don't know if you've been following this, but they are making markets in just about everything, including how long the sessions go on when Pam Bondi, she's the one that speaks,
Yeah.
the speaker for
Attorney
the
General,
White
yeah.
House,
Yeah.
how long she speaks, and if it goes over a certain amount of time or not. That was what they were betting on. And somebody came in at the last minute and put in a really big bet. And she's speaking, 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 speaking. All of a sudden, in the middle, she's just like, okay, bye. And she leaves right
Huh,
before the deadline.
really?
Right before the
How'd you
deadline.
find this out? I mean, did you
It was an article.
read
I don't
about it?
know. I'm just
Okay,
reading about
okay.
it.
Wow.
There was somebody who made a bet on when the U.S. would go get Maduro, invade Venezuela,
Right, they made a huge bet.
hours before the
Right.
news came out. Hours
Some
before. So, you know, it's insiders. It's insider trading run them. It's there. It's obvious. Anybody
In
can see it.
sports, it's in everything. It's in through
But there's no
everything.
rules against it. Yes, in the stock market, you cannot do insider trading. Prediction markets, oh no, that's a new thing. We don't have any rules. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In fact, the prediction markets are happy that the insider trading is happening. They encourage it because they're saying that it helps them predict what's going to happen in the world. And so people know in advance, like the news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, one of Trump's son is one of the advisors to um, the, I forgot what it was called, the one with the P, the prediction market with a P. There's
Oh,
there's Kalshi, and then there's the other one
yes.
that was kicked out of the U.S., but now has been invited back into the U.S. I forgot the name of it.
Ah, me too.
Um, and so he's like one of their advisors or board members or whatever. And then Trump's company, the Trump Enterprises or Trump Social or whatever the public DJ Donald Trump company,
Mhm.
announced Trump the on that on the Truth Social they're going to have prediction markets as well. So you can bet on Truth Social what's going to happen. So it kind of makes it easier for these Trump officials to make money, right? Because like they're already on Trump Social, they're already on
Yeah,
the Truth
they
Social.
control. They know. I mean,
They
it's
know
like
what's happening. They're like, "Oh, hey, we're going to Iran. Okay, here, let me just click a button. I'll move over to the betting app and I'll place money on on the bet."
and the laws just can't catch up. You can't catch up to the speed. I always thought that,
And
right?
then you have regular people.
Great
So
call.
this morning I went to give blood. Um, and I'm talking to the lady, she's drawing my blood. She's old. She's like in her 60s. She should be retired, but she's not. And she's like, "Oh, I'm fast." She's like, "Are you fasting today?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm fasting." She goes, "Oh yeah, me too." I'm like, "Okay, why? Why are you fasting today?" She goes, "Oh, she goes, I take care of my grandkids. There's four of them. I ran out of food this morning." I was like, "Oh, okay." How do I respond to this? She's like, "Yeah, I made breakfast for everybody and I just ran out. They ate so much that I there was nothing left, so I went without." And she's saying that the mother, her son is the father, but he's not in the picture. Like he's in and out. The mother is like having babies now with other men and leaving the
Hmm.
babies in the hospital. And so she gets $300 a month from food stamps for all four children. They go to school. She has to pay for their daycare after school because she's at work. And the government pays for some of that, but she still pays a big chunk of that.
Right.
And she's like,
Leaves me nothing.
yeah, like I got nothing. I got a rent to pay. I got a car payment. I got nothing, and everything's going to these four kids that I did not have.
Go, man.
You know, so it's like really interesting scenario. So you have people like that, and then you got people on the other side. They're just making so much money. For
Yeah, well, they call it the K-shaped economy, right? You have people at the top that are just killing it, and then people at the bottom that are
Yep.
hurting drastically.
So, folks, we are trying to get you to the right side of the K, the upside,
Yes,
this
absolutely.
side. It's going
Yeah, I
up.
want
We don't want you to
the
be on the
common
downside.
person to be able to do this, right? To navigate
Yeah. And the reason
this.
you're listening to this, the reason you're listening to us is because you're already on that side, right? You're looking like,
Mhm.
okay, how do I make more? How do I get more? And how do I not have to work for it? How do I just press some buttons, use my brain, make some money? Because
Right.
the time is going to
Make your life
come
easier.
when either you're a knowledge worker and AI is taking part of your job, or you're a physical laborer and a robot is going to come take your job.
Right.
So,
This is what's happening. Yeah.
yep, you need to fine tune that brain of yours,
Hmm.
and get with it. So scary, scary, interesting, all at once. I don't know. I'm
It's a
over.
mix. It's exciting. It's scary. It's everything in between.
Now I know why everybody's hooped up on anxiety and pills.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're confused. We don't know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the videos we came out with last year was that Eli Lilly is going to double. That was one of my predictions, right? Last year. Novo Nordisk came out with the pill, the GLP-1 pill that's doing really well, and now Eli is going to come out with their own pill. And so they're saying that that's going to allow a lot of people who couldn't um, take the injection before, now they'll be able to do it
Hmm.
because they're already taking pills. They just take one more. Or if they're a traveler, they're running around. You can't take the injections with you everywhere, so you just take your pills with you and just pop them when you're done.
That
It's
must
not a it's
be
not a big
easier.
stigma. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's becoming normalized.
And
I
some
think they're
people some
gonna,
people are tired of sticking themselves, you know.
yeah.
It hurts. I got blood today. I was like,
But
ow.
it works. I mean, I saw a whole piece over the weekend on Oprah Winfrey and how she's doing, and she takes the actual I think she takes she mentioned she takes the pill.
The pill
So
just came out, so I don't.
yeah, well maybe yeah, so she does take the drug though, but it is working, right? So yeah, it works, right? So
Yeah, I feel bad for Weight Watchers. Like
oh,
they're
they're
hope.
done. They're remember it's like, oh yeah, that's over with.
That was so funny with her and Weight Watchers. They were like, the company's dying, and then, oh, Oprah Winfrey's coming, and we're going to give her a lot of stock, and she's going to talk about how awesome our company is. So the stock went, phew, and the company was like,
Right. And
yay,
then
we're saved. And then
now it's
Oprah
gone.
Winfrey, Oprah Winfrey comes out, and she was like, oh yeah, I don't watch your stock anymore because I'm taking this shot. I'm taking
But
this
that's how
drug.
like things are changing. It's just the fact of how things are. I mean,
Yeah.
they
And
talked about, hey, I think it was like a couple years ago, you could eventually just take a pill, you won't need to eat, right? But we enjoy eating and everything, and you just take one pill, you get all your nutrients, you don't need to go and do everything. I mean,
there is that thing. There's in Silicon Valley, there's this really nasty drink. It looks like a milkshake, but it tastes awful.
it's
And
not
they just
AG1, is it?
no. But they just take this so they don't have to go and eat. They can
Yeah.
stay and work and code and whatever. But in Silicon Valley, that's like a really big thing. Um, and so yeah, a pill like that would
Yeah,
work
it's
for
usually
certain
so
people.
fringe, but then they work themselves into, the mainstream. So,
Yep. In Japan, I don't know if you talked about this. Japan, they found a way to regrow teeth.
yeah, you talked about that
You want
last
to talk
time.
about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So there's a lot of crazy stuff coming. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. All right. So that's it for today. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, if you were not able to post your comment in the YouTube video for some reason, email us or let us know, and we'll get you added to the list. But do it by tomorrow so that we do have, so it's fair.
We'll do it
Uh,
like let's say tomorrow by 1 p.m.
1 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so we'll
I'll give you
check.
the whole morning.
We'll add them all up.
Get it in.
We'll, if there's anything in, we'll add them and put them on there. 1 p.m. And that's it. Cool beans.
All right.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time.